You want me to put that on my Tudor?
Harry's wife. No more Indys. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for revisiting the events of last autumn or last fall in relation to when Harry's wife turned up and spoke at a conference centre in Indianapolis. You'll recall that Michelle Obama had been at this same location just a few months previously, and she had spoken to a very large crowd of about 15,000 people. And Harry's wife, of course, thought that she could replicate that. She thought, such as her level of delusion and her level of misguided popularity, that people would be selling out stadiums and arenas to come and hear her talk. Naturally, she's completely incapable of recognizing that when she talks, she would send a glass eye to sleep, that she utilizes quotations from other people, that she utilizes fridge magnet platitudes, and just provides us with this beige word salad, which is completely meaningless. She believes that she is a colossus in the speaking world. You only had to see the way that she Richter-screened her way through the speech at Bridgewater Hall in September to understand that she truly thinks that what she's telling everybody in the audience is groundbreaking, unique, and pioneering, whereas a 7-year-old would write a better speech than what she comes up with. Not only does she have to talk about herself again and again and again, what she has to say about herself isn't that interesting. She hasn't done anything of note. She has to regurgitate the worn anecdotes, which are invariably a revision of history. She believed that she would have some form of career as a keynote speaker, someone that the masses would flock to, that venues all around the United States would sell out as a consequence of wanting to come and hear her speak. And yet, we know the embarrassment that was the appearance in Indianapolis. But isn't it interesting that since that clusterfuck of a shit show, she has not done one since? Why might that be? Well, the first possibility is nobody is interested. That she's priced herself out of the market. For instance, see Parts Passim, where I've identified the profiles that she had, where she was seeking to commandeer ridiculous sums for her appearances. Remember, she'll demand a huge fee. She'll want a private jet to ferry her there. She'll want certain assistance. She will want her hair and makeup done in a particular way. She'll want food in a particular way. She will want a sort of Mariah Carey diva-esque setting. All of this costs. And as I've explained to you before, there are many narcissists who behave in a diva-like manner who get these things because they're true superstars. And people think they're a complete pain in the jacksie, but we tolerate them because their speeches are truly blockbusting. Their songs get people on their feet and dancing. Their monologues are hugely entertaining, and thus they are tolerated. Not only tolerated, but almost welcomed. The pain in the arse that they are is tolerated and accepted as a consequence of the brilliance that is demonstrated. Harry's wife can't do that. Accordingly, there haven't been any more Indys since, because nobody wants her. She's too expensive. She's more diva-like than J-Lo and Mariah Carey put together. She isn't worth the effort. And people aren't interested in what she has to say, combined with her tanking lack of popularity. All of this means that anybody who would want to pay to come and listen to her has probably just been released from some kind of psychiatric institution. Thus, it hasn't happened again because nobody's interested. Nobody wants her. She couldn't even fill a broom cupboard with people that would want to hear her speak. Next, The second reason that it won't occur and hasn't occurred again is quite simply that her narcissism recognizes that she took a kicking over the embarrassment that took place. That following on from it, whilst the delusion would have caused her to believe that it was well accepted, she will have noticed the empty tables. She will have noticed the great big space around the edges that the Marriott had been able to fill. She will have seen the repeated criticisms in the press ridiculing her attendance. That she will have seen all of that. She won't have accepted it. But the fact is, remember, her narcissism does act as a self-defense mechanism. And therefore, a combination of nobody wanting her in the first place and the too great a risk of damage in effect to her ego by a repeat of this means that her narcissism isn't going to take her in that direction. Certain advisors might have said to her, "We don't think that it's the right direction for you to go in. We don't really think there's an appetite or market for it." She wouldn't accept that because she won't listen to anybody. She believes that she's far more knowledgeable than the experts. She believes that she knows better than anybody else. But notwithstanding that, whilst she would reject what somebody has to say in the moment for the purpose of nullifying that threat to control, her narcissism also recognizes that attempting to do this, and it be her recognition, not that of somebody advising her, would be problematic for her. And thus, her narcissism will not take her in that direction. Its aim is to protect her, rather than expose her to additional ridicule, rather than expose her to severe wounding. For instance, let us say that she decided to book a 5,000-person venue, and only a couple of hundred turned up. No matter what table shifting that you did and bringing in hire a friend and mannequins, it would not mask the very poor attendance. Indeed, it would be likely that the promoter would pull the event beforehand because they weren't going to make their money. And in the circumstances, that would cause severe wounding to Harry's wife. Her narcissism could well recognize that that is a potential risk, and therefore it decides we're not going to pursue the after-dinner speech market. Accordingly, you'll have noted there haven't been any repeat of the Indys, and the reason for it is a combination of the fact that nobody is interested and nobody will be interested. Nobody wants to pay large sums of money to listen to someone so boring as Harry's wife, and combined with the protective nature of her narcissism defending her from potential severe wounding means that it hasn't happened and is unlikely to happen in the near future. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.